Hello, everybody. So, my name is Sean Jameson, and the purpose of this video is to give you the opportunity to create your own grading spreadsheet so you can check up on your grades. Now, you might do this for different reasons. You might be on a face-to-face class where there's no easy gradebook to access to find out exactly where you are in your course, or maybe it's an online course where the grades don't calculate exactly to where you are, or you want to do some scenario planning. In other words, okay, I've got everything done but my final. What kind of score do I need on my final to get that A? So, whatever your purpose is, there's a way to keep track of it in Excel. And I'm going to do a fairly straightforward example here. But hopefully, if you have a more complicated grading situation, you'll be able to use what I've taught you here to create your own spreadsheet. And a couple caveats. One is that this is not going to be pretty because, of course, this is for your own use. So you're not creating a report here or anything. So I'm not going to emphasize making it pretty, only making it functional. So how do you build a grading spreadsheet? Well, first of all, you need access to Microsoft Excel. The other thing you need is you need to know what each piece of your grade is worth. And how you can figure that out is probably in your syllabus or maybe in your grading policy. So ask your teacher, instructor, professor, how am I graded? If it's not obvious, if it wasn't handed out to you in a syllabus or a grading policy, how are things graded? So what I did for this example is I'm pretending to take an Excel class, Excel 101, and this is to calculate my grade. And so what I did for my own notes so that you can follow along over here on the side is I just made notes. And you can do that in Excel. It's fine with putting text in there. And in this grading policy, there's three different kinds of assessments. There's discussions every week for 5 weeks, and they're worth 3% each. So I like to have courses that add up to 100. You can do an Excel sheet that works different ways than that too. But for this example, we'll have a course that adds up to 100, which kind of makes life a lot easier for everybody. Um, anyway, so here's discussions. We're 3%, 5 times, so total of 15% against a grade that adds up to 100 points. A final project that's worth 35%, and a final demonstration worth 50%. So that'd be where I actually was with the instructor and I would demonstrate my skills live to the instructor. So pretty scary, right? And that all adds up to 100%. So this probably isn't the hardest one. Some of you could do this, on a calculator in your heads or guesstimate, but you'll see it does make it a lot easier once you have it set up. So what I did is I pre-filled out the sheet for you, and you might want to do a little more pre-calculation than I did. What I did is I had 5 discussions, so I put those out individually because the scores could be variable. Maybe I will only get 1% on one or 2% on another and 3% on another. So I would just enter these into the sheet as I earned them. And then what I did, because I wanted to track my overall performance on discussion, I added in a little formula, and this one was super easy to do. So this was blank at one point, and I just click in here and I go over to auto sum, and what I wanted was a sum. And sure enough, when I clicked on it, it looked and it saw that yes, in fact, there's these numbers leading over to this cell, and it put that formula in that added up for me. You could manually add this in too. So a formula always has an equal in front of it. If you're doing a sum, it's sum, and then in parens, and then it has the locations with a colon is kind of like a 2 or a dash in a different system. So if you look here, this is what the cell is, right? A4. So if you look at the formula, A4 colon E4, this is E4, see E4. And then that'll add up plus 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 all the way across. And because I was such a good student, I got all the points. I got all 15 points. Now, towards the end of the course, I take the final project and I turn it in and I get a 80% on it. Well, then you've got that's 80% times 35. It's, for those of you that are really good at math, you could do that in your head, but I don't have to, right? I could create a formula for that. Same with the final demonstration. I got a little stressed out because it was a live demonstration, so I only got 70% there. So now I have to figure out how to calculate that final percent. And what I did is I actually manually entered this in because I wasn't sure that I could find an automatic way to do that in Excel. So I put in my equal sign. I put in F4, which happens to be where the total points for discussion were. And then I put a plus to add and a parens, and we put that parenthesis in there to make sure that whatever's within the parentheses is calculated before it's added to the rest of the formula. So what I did is I found the location of the score. The 80% lives at G4. So I put in G4. Then I put in an asterisk, which is a shift 8 for times or multiply. And then 0.35, because remember that's the percentage value of the final project. Then close parens, plus again to add, and then open parens because I want to do a calculation also for the final demonstration. That grade I inputted over here at H4, and then I multiply that by 0.5 because it's worth 50%. And then once I've entered that all in, I find it's just easiest to tab over, and it tells me that I got a 78%. And then all you would do is for your institution, look at their grading scale to see how you scored in the course. And of course, if you haven't finished the class yet, let's say we take out the final demonstration, we've done everything else, it'll make it look like you got a terrible score, right? But you know that you still have 50% in play. Or so let's say I needed to get 80%. What I could do then is kind of figure out, okay, about what do I think I need to get 80%. So say at my institution at 80% is a B. So I could kind of guesstimate what to put in, and I could just type in a number and it'll pop out what my potential percentage is. So let's say if I got a 75, what would my score be? 80.5. That's pretty good. I probably want to get a better score just to make sure I nail that 80%. But that way I can do some scenario planning to say, where am I heading in this class and what do I need to perform to meet my goals? And you could set up a similar spreadsheet for your GPA or whatever. But that's the basics of it. And I think the only important function that I haven't shown you is doing a division. So if you happen to have where everything was all equal or something like that, take the average of this, then you could either do an average on on the function pull down. You could do an average in a cell, or you could manually put in dividing on Excel is the slash key. So that would help you set that up. But this is just a basic scenario to help you set up a spreadsheet to track your grading. And if you have any questions, let me know. I hope you enjoy the grading spreadsheet.